Hello and welcome to this video all about the Corvus mod. So Corvus is a magic mod. It actually reminds me a little bit of Witchery and there's some cool stuff in it, so we're going to look at it. So there's this thing, the Book of Crows, which is made with paper and a feather, and this gives you an interface and with patchouli. We're not going to actually look at it though because I kind of know a little bit of what I'm doing here. So the first thing you want to do is the Awaken ritual. So there's various things you can find in the world, in savanna and forests. You can get like wormwood, you can get frankincense trees, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but you can get various plants, safe to say. What you want to do is do something called the Awaken ritual. So the Awaken ritual, so to do the Awaken ritual, the best way to do it is to get this thing, the grimoire. So the grimoire, when you shift right click it, it will just take you into the JEI page and it will tell you how to get it, right? So these things, crystal quartz, you can see this is crystal quartz ore, so you just get that in the ground. Wormwood is just a crop, like I said, and then we need the oil of growth, so potion of regen, diamond, crystal quartz, any sapling, bone meal, and then from the frankincense tree. So this also in forest. So forest and savanna is where you'll find most of the crops and stuff like that. Okay, so once you've got everything you need, right, you need to get the candle, so which is just made with clay and string, and then what you'll do, you'll put the candle down and you'll chuck in those resources, right? Once those resources are in, you can just click the candle and you're going to get Awakening. So this is how it starts, and you'll notice that once you get Awakening, the Corvus tab will actually appear, and you can see we've got various different things here. So you can see one of these is become invisible while under the effect of oil of protective winds. Okay, so the oil of protective winds, we can take a look at that. Recipe for that. Bottle of enchanting, which there is no recipe for that. Lavender as well is found in the world. So the way to unlock that is to take the invisibility potion, as you might expect. So you do this. Sounds a little bit loud actually. Okay, so once you've taken that potion, you can see we're going to get speed and slow fall 2, and then if we become invisible after that, we're going to get this. And you'll notice that what appears is this 100 on the side, right? And you'll also notice that once we right click with the grimoire now, we're going to get this menu. So you can see what it does is it lets you access these various things that you can do. So for instance, if I click on conceal, I can't click on Canvas Familiar or Corvus Flap because I haven't done those yet. Okay, so you can see at the moment I'm under no potion effects. So if we then, so you can see we've got conceal selected. So if we then press the use key in Corvus, which is C by default, you get complete concealment. And the great thing about this is whatever you're holding in your hand, so you could be holding a sword for instance, you can't see anything at all. So this is like, it's actually very, very strong. I've never seen a concealment as strong as this. Normally you can see either the weapon or your armor will show. That's another important point actually. Take the armor. Okay, it's worn out now, but we'll do it again. And you can see I'm wearing full, well, I'm wearing diamond armor, full diamond armor now, and there's nothing showing at all. It doesn't last that long, but it is pretty awesome. Okay, so there's another thing as well we can do. So you may also find these crows as well. So we have to get the wormwood. To grow the stuff, I'll talk about the plant growth in a minute actually, but I just want to show some of the cool stuff first. And then we'll talk about some of the like the other stuff as well. So, so you find these crows, right? They're in the world, in forests and stuff. So let's just tame them with some wormwood. There is like, okay, so you can see we've tamed the crow. What this means is when you open your grimoire now, you're going to have access to the Corvus Flap, which is another one of these special abilities. So what does that do? Well, you can see at the moment I've only got 40 left. It does regen over time, but this was actually quite a cheap one. But take a look at this. We're going through. Gives you a huge... It does have a cooldown. It gives you a sudden burst, right? So yeah, it gives you a huge burst of speed and gives you that nice like effect with that noise, right? But yeah, like I say, it does take some time to regen. So let's take a step to something else, right? So if you do find all these crops, so for instance, you're not going to find this wormwood, you're going to find this, right? You're going to find the wormwood seeds. Okay. So the thing about the wormwood seeds is that if we try and grow them with bone meal, if we try and grow the wormwood seeds with bone meal, you see nothing's actually happening. And that's actually to do with this candle issue, right? So there's various different types of candle you can get. Okay, so what we need then is the candle of growth, right? So the candle of growth is made like this. We just need the oil of growth, which we've already looked into, right? And you can see automatically stuff is growing in an area of effect. And we could say, let's put down, say, a frankincense sapling as well. And you see again with this, right? The frankincense is not going to grow. But let's put some more candle of growth down. And we'll put some more of these wormwood seeds down as well. You can already see with the wormwood, by the way, that it's already growing. And you can see that's massively increasing the rate at which it's growing, right? To have all these candles down. And you can see the frankincense tree is also grown. So that's how you might want to get some of the resources. Okay, so the other one that I didn't actually point out before was this murder puppy. This is I couldn't get it to work exactly properly, but I think you have to actually breed the wolves. But anyway, I have got it working now, so I can show you what it does. So again, if we go to our grimoire, you can see we can get it selected, and when we click on it, you can see we get this. So this is a pretty powerful. I was doing it with zombies actually. He's got a pretty powerful attack, this guy. So obviously he's dying. I mean, yeah. It is still daytime, so they're not doing that well anyway, these zombies. But yeah, this is a pretty powerful, I don't know, like attack dog, right? So they're the three things. Now something that is really cool about this is that there's actually another dimension that you can go to. So this is... and what we need to do for that is we need to do another ritual. So remember, like, right-click the grimoire for the actual different effects, and then we shift right-click for the rituals. So you notice there are a few more, right? So we need to go to Gaia's land, right? Okay, once you're at this sort of stage, what you can do is you can put a candle down here, and we're going to go to the new dimension as well. So we're going to go to, so we need a crystal quartz, any flower, any obsidian, any of that. And I think you need you as well. So you can see, you can actually turn the candle off as well. Okay, so you can see that I've got a meter for breathing here. And the problem with this is that you actually need to find a certain type of flower, otherwise you're actually going to suffocate. So we can see what flower's actually here. I'm not sure you can find the breathing tulip. Okay, so you need to have this, so once you get here, you need to have the breathing tulip, and this will give you the breath of Gaia, right? And there's a lot of different stuff in here. Basically everything here. I was going to show you the oil of... You can see you lost all your stuff, by the way. The oil of protective winds as well. Gives you speed too. So we just look at what the various things do, these oils. Okay, so once you're here anyway, okay, you can see I've got slow fall, which is pretty useful for this sort of thing. Because the way that this dimension is, it's very much a it's you know, it goes down a long way. And there are various different plants here which are different. It doesn't look particularly different. So you can see, for instance, we've got this. This is the blazing tulip. That gives you blaze powder. Okay. Other than that, if we look at and the thing about the oil of the attuned, this does require the wiser gem. So this is a special ore which is just found here. You can see wiser gem ore. We can take a little fly through actually. See if there's anything like. Don't know if we'll really be able to see much. Just flying through. It's mainly blazing tulips here. You come in, yeah. You can get blaze powder here. You can also get the. There's not a huge amount of stuff in here, to be honest. Okay, so once you've finished. So yeah, so to get the oil tune, you will need those the wiser gem ore, which can only be found here, right? There's also got blood rose, stunning dahlia as well. So there are various crops: lily of the toxic, bloom of death. So there's some rarer items here, right? I'm not sure, but anyway, one of the things you can do is once you fall out the world. You'll notice I've still got all my stuff. And that's because they're sort of like expected to happen. There's no way of actually leaving the dimension. But yeah, apart from that, I'm not exactly sure what else there really is to mention. We could look at the blocks, I suppose. So they're the main gem blocks. I could look at the book a little bit here at the end just to see if there's anything. Oh yeah, this guy. I forgot about him. So this guy's brutal, to be honest. He will just kill everything. So we'll take a look at this. So yeah, the final thing to mention is this, the Wendigo. I think he's in forests. And he's aggroed on me, that's not good. Got him. What does he drop actually? Drops leather. Okay. But yeah, what you might want to do with them is if you had like a. So for instance, if we try putting this down. Okay, so if we get another one of these guys, let's see how much damage he can do this time. Oh, he's gone the wrong way. Oh no, here he comes. So you can see he's actually knocked back, right? So then if we put the red candle down, the one of enraged spirits, pretty useful, right? Did I show the issue with the thing with the crow, by the way? Takes a while to die. But yeah, the crow, you just you can put the crow down with the, and one thing I definitely didn't show this, but it's similar to the wolf. If you notice, you can change the positioning of the tail, you know, for follow and not follow. Okay, so the problem, there is a slight problem, by the way, with the ritual, because if you want to get the breathing tulip that will let you breathe in the Gaia dimension, you essentially have to use a blood rose, which is in the Gaia dimension, and which if you go there, you won't be able to get it because you run out of breath before you can find it. I mean, you might be able to find it in time, but I don't think that's the way it's supposed to be. But yeah, there's definitely, like, I think this is going to be a section that is going to be done more with. We can take a look at the actual flowers though, like the stunning dahlia. So yeah, I didn't see many of these. I only really found the blazing tulip on my brief visit there, but so we can take a look, see if it has any effects here. It's not easy to break these things. There is definitely, like, really? Does it go into a daze? Let's see if a sheep goes into a daze. Or if this is only... Maybe it's only in the Gaia dimension that it does that. So this just causes damage. I think Lily of the Toxic is fairly similar. Yep, poison damage. Bloom of Death. Looks like wither damage. We're going to die here. But yeah, so there's lots of different flowers that you can find in the Gaia dimension. I think it's still... I'm not sure exactly where you get this from, either the Cursed Bone. I guess maybe it's from the Familiar. It doesn't have any uses. Oh, it can make bone meal, I guess. That is interesting how that works. Okay. So there's an extra bone meal recipe. I guess the original one is supposed to not be there. But yeah, aside from that, lots of cool stuff in this mod, and goodbye.